What's up, guys? I feel like coming at you with a quick little live stream. Today I figured we would be taking a look at something new I picked up today because I haven't had the best week, so I figured I would buy myself something to feel a little better. So today we're taking a look at the new legendary expansion for Marvel's deck building game. We're taking a look at Secret Wars Volume 2. So this one features a much wide, diverse range of characters throughout the Marvel Universe compared to the normal expansions like Dark City, X-Men, Avengers and villains and all that stuff. A lot of characters in this expansion I have never actually seen before, but of course main reason I got it was to get Spider-Gwen and Venom, and of course it does feature a Mastermind for Spider Island, which is pretty cool, as well as Silk and a bunch of other really cool characters. So Legendary is something I have featured on the channel quite a lot, and you guys can check out my villains review, which is the second base set coming out next week up on here on the channel. As well as you can check out my alien stuff as well as my Paint the Town Red unboxing as well. So in this expansion we get a whopping 16 new characters, along with 4 masterminds and 6 villain groups and 8 schemes and 3 new types of bystanders. Because this is Secret Wars Volume 2, it does build on a lot of the mechanics introduced in the first Secret Wars expansion, which mostly includes being able to play as the mastermind, similar to how you can play as the alien queen. Unfortunately, you don't get the cards you need to play as the Mastermind in Volume 2. I think you do need Volume 1. We do get the special cards that they require for them, which are called the special cards for them, which we'll talk about later on when we get to those. But for now, we're just going to go through all the characters. I'm not going to go through every single card for every character. I'm just going to go through highlight the ultimates for each character. So first off, we have Agent Venom. So he is, as the 3 Spider-Man characters, Silk, Spider-Gwen, and Agent Venom, as you would expect, they are all friends of Spider-Man, so they do have the Spider-Man, the Spider-Friend symbol, so you can combo them off really well with Spider-Man characters, particularly Silk and Spider-Gwen work really well with your other Spider-Man characters because they are all low-cost characters. Even Agent Venom, for example, he's got some 6 costs, but he's primarily pretty low cost, so he's pretty cool to build around. You have Spider-Gwen, so she's all low cost. All her cards cost you 2 buy power, so very cheap deck to build if you want to play mono character or if you want to mix it with some other Spider-Man characters, which is really cool. Silk as well, she's all 2 cost, same as Spider-Man, and she has abilities that basically activate if the top card of your deck is 2 cost. Unfortunately, the issue with running mono with these 2 characters is you don't have much attack power. So one thing I've noticed from the hero characters as opposed to the villain characters, the hero characters like to mix, whereas the villain characters like to stay pure. So the other heroes, we get a bunch of some X-Men characters. So we have time-traveling Jean Grey. We have the Phoenix Force Cyclops. As well as Short Sword Colossus. So these do have the X-Men symbol, so if you do have the X-Men expansion as well, these combo off really well with that. Unfortunately, Kitty Pryde, my favorite X-Men, is in the first Secret Wars expansion, not the second one, so I'm a little bit annoyed about that. I'm not sure what classification these characters have. Oh, sorry, we also have Ruby Summers as well for to round off 4 X-Men characters. We have, I believe it's the Illuminati. We have Captain Britain and Beast. So Beast is still an X-Men, obviously, but for here he's not treated as an X-Men, which is weird. I found that was kind of strange. We also have Captain Britain, who's a pretty interesting character. In terms of, apparently, we have one Avengers character, which is the Captain and the Devil, but that is, of course, Devil Dinosaur. We have some quite a few Marvel Knights characters, actually. We do have 3. So first off, we have Shang-Chi. I'm not too familiar with this character. I'm pretty sure he's from Iron Fist, because there's a lot of stuff in here about Kunlun. We have someone that actually surprises me. We have Doc the Punisher, the Sorcerer Supreme. It's pretty interesting. And of course, there are some new mechanics brought into this. I'm not sure if they were new to this particular one. However, there's like Spectrum, which basically is a mechanic that can only be used if you have 3 or more different classes in your hand. You also have Patrolling. Basically, if the area that you're looking for is empty, where it says patrol, say the rooftops, if the rooftops is empty, you get to do a specific thing, which is cool. You also get 2 new villains, which is good. So they're kind of, it's good to know that they're actually, I think I do mention this in my villains review when we get to it. I do mention how I wish they would do expansions for villains, but if they're going to put like a few villains in every continuing expansion for Legendary after villains came out, because I know on the back of this box it does have the Legendary villains box as a base set. You're required to play it as a potential play set. It is cool that you can get, we do have some villains to play with those. I'm not familiar with anyone. One of them is Corvus Glaive, and the other one is Black Swan. So I don't really know those characters. And then the one character we have which has no affiliation is Archon the Magnificent. Again, another character I've never actually seen before. So that's our 16 characters for that we can choose to recruit from. Now we'll take a look at our Masterminds. So first off, we have Angela, and she leads the Guardians of Nowhere. Now she has this mechanic known as Fateful Resurrection, which basically activates. When you fight it, you reveal the top card of the villain deck. If it's a Scheme Twist or Master Strike, the villain re-enters the city. If it re-enters, you still rescue its bystanders. The villain pushes the sewers and does not ambush and abilities as normal. If the Mastermind tactic resurrects this way, shuffle it back into the other face-down tactics. That's pretty interesting. If a Mastermind has been ascended to... If a villain has been ascended to a Mastermind resurrects this way, it will stay a Mastermind and does not re-enter the city. So that's another thing, of course, that's new to this. There are villains who can fight to become... who can end up becoming Masterminds. That's something that I'm not too familiar... so... It says when some powerful villains in this escape, they ascend to Masterminds. So players must defeat all Masterminds to win. So I believe that it'll specify on them. So she obviously leads the Guardians. So you have Drax. So it's really cool. We get to see Agent Venom there as well. So we get 2 of him. We have Gamora, as you would expect. She looks a bit different here than she does in the movies, obviously. You have Groot. And you have Rocket. So I do believe... That's 1, 2, 3. Sweet. Should be 8. So he'll probably be around somewhere. Next up, guys, we have our next Mastermind, which is King Hyperion. Again, I'm not familiar with this character too much, but he has like Dr. Spectrum, Nighthawk, Warrior Woman, and Weezer. Our next Mastermind is Shikala the Demon Bride. So she always leads the Monster Metropolis. So we have the Bug, Shakala's pet dragon. I'm not sure who she's a villain for. She looks like a Doctor Strange villain. We have Man-Thing. So didn't know he was a villain. I thought he was a hero. Maybe I'm getting confused with something. We have Marcus the Symbiote Centaur. Again, I've never seen these characters before. So we also have Ghost Deadpool. Deadpool makes a surprising return to this set. We have Immortal Emperor Zheng Zhu. So obviously he leads the Kun Lun. So you have Laughing Skull. You have Run the Kai, which is interesting because he has the Iron Fist. We have Razor Fist. Well, we have Red Sai. Again, I don't know any of these characters because I don't actually read Iron Fist. And then finally, one of our last villain groups. One of our last villain groups we have is Deadpool. So we have So Deadpool is one of the characters that can become a mastermind. So he ascends to become when he escapes, which is pretty cool. He also has one mastermind tactic, which is this. You have Dupe. So I think all these characters are pretty troll. You have Howard the Duck. You have Pink Sphinx. So these are all from, obviously, Deadpool's Secret Wars. And then we do get one hero adversary group, obviously, to basically give us some more expansions to our heroes, which is pretty cool, to our villains game. So first off, we have 90. So it's X-Men 92. So I believe it's based on the animated series. So we have Professor X. He can escape to become a mastermind. We have 92 Beast. We have Jubilee, which is pretty cool. And we have Wolverine. So we don't have Storm or anything like that, which is interesting. But it's still pretty cool. And for some reason, these do all have the X-Men symbol on the top. So I think if you want to make a deck where you already had pre-constructed cards, because they do have ability. Oh no, so these are for people playing the masterminds. So that's pretty cool. So the last mastermind group we get in the set is obviously Spider Queen from Spider Island. So she doesn't really have any unique enemy in lots of different unique villains. She just has the spider infected, but it means you can at least play through Spider Island. There are also two generic adversaries for us to fight against. We have the Khonshu Guardians and we have the Magma Men, which is pretty interesting. We also get 3 new types of bystanders. So we get the Alligator Trapper, which is when it is rescued, we get to patrol the sewers. So obviously, if you're playing villains, it's if it's kidnapped. You get a shapeshifted Copycat. So when you rescue her, she becomes a villain with 3 attack and enters the city, which is interesting. And then we finally have the Undercover Agent. So when you rescue this bystander, player of choice gains a shield officer, obviously, or Hydra officer if you're playing villains. So, which is pretty cool. So the last thing that you get in this particular expansion, other than the schemes, of course, which we'll quickly brush over, are the new ambitions. So the ambitions are for players playing as the masterminds. I'm not too familiar with how they go or how they work because I haven't played Secret Wars 1, but they seem relatively interesting. And you get, you get a bunch of new schemes, actually. I think you get like 8, was it? Yeah, you get 8 new schemes. So you got Deadland Hordes Charge the Wall, Enthrone the Barons of Battle World, Master the Mysteries of Kung Fu. So that's obviously a one based around Iron Fist. So you have Secret Wars, obviously based on the title of this. Sinister Ambitions, which is sounds interesting. The Fountain of Eternal Life. The God Emperor of Battle World. And then the Mark of Khonshu. So those are your 8 schemes. Not sure how easy or hard they are again because I only just got this today. But anyway, guys, that is it for the unboxing. Hope you enjoyed watching it. I'm going to hopefully film some games or be able to stream some games with you guys for this with some people once I get some internet where we play. I think it'd be pretty cool to stream some of this. And if you guys like to watch that, feel free to tune in. And anyway, guys, feel free to check out some of my other legendary videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you for my next live stream.